Welcome back to my invasion design series. Today we're covering Anor Londo. This is not a great place to invade. I'll just start the video off by saying that. Anor Londo was very clearly kind of added for some Dark Souls 1 lore, and does very little for you as an invader, and it seems like the PvP side of things were a total afterthought when they finished this level and put it in the game. Gang squads are bit hard to deal with due to the lack of mob support, unless they're the worst gang squad in the world, like this one is. Yeah, they just got turned and burned to death. Two of them. I can't believe that really happened. But Anor Londo has like a grand total of actually three good enemies in the level. It's those two Silver Knights and the big red-eyed Silver Knights, but no one ever goes near the red-eye Silver Knight anyways. So your mob support consists of two Silver Knights that by the time you spawn in are probably already dead, and one guy that the party doesn't really need to go anywhere near in order to play the level. So not that great in terms of mob support. You also have the sludge monsters that sometimes push out some spikes and hit people with them. You have some deacons throwing fireballs. But other than that, you're really kind of sparse on enemy support as an invader. This clip also kind of highlights what's not too great as an invader about this level, because if those doors are open, the party can basically just run straight to the boss room, like at will, basically. These guys only choose to fight me, and the moment I kill this phantom, they run away and just book it to the fog wall, and maybe their friends sits this boss battle out. So it's not that great place to get parties, and honestly, I'd say 25% of the invasions I get here are just like that screen, the Host of Embers has begun critical battle screen, which is pretty frustrating because then you just end up playing loading screen Souls instead of Dark Souls. Due to just the general lack of mob support, you really kind of have to make the most of every tough mob in the game. Those Silver Knights can pancake people given the chance, and do a crazy amount of damage with their big lightning attack. So you gotta kind of defend them. You gotta make sure they're in the game and doing stuff like that in order to win tougher invasions. Another thing that's not too great about this area is the fact that if you want to fight with the Silver Knights, you gotta fight on stairs, and stairs is just it's so bad for fighting. Just all your spacing is off. Hitboxes are wonky on stairs. I don't know why. I go for a backstab here, and the host just rolls himself off a cliff. So that's always nice. It's not a huge area, so you can panic people into killing themselves, which is always fun. One thing that's fun about Anor Londo, though, is that you get invaded by the same person a lot, between the same bonfire rests, because basically every time you knock someone out of your world, if you kill them, they go back to the bonfire and you stay in your world. But the bonfire is so far away for you that they're likely just gonna get back up and hit that red eye orb again and get right back into your world, because there's just not a lot of people in Anor Londo. So this guy invaded me 2 or 3 times, and then I invaded him back, so it was fun. I don't want to spend this whole video just kind of bitching about I don't like invading at Anor Londo, because I still invade in Anor Londo all the time anyways. I'm more pointing out the fact that this was clearly not designed as a big invasion hotspot, especially since Post Pontiff is right below it. But it's still a decent area. It's unfortunately just kind of a reference that was thrown in there, and a lot of people really didn't like it. I think at the time when it launched, when this game launched, people were like, "Oh, that's a pretty cool reference. Oh, look, you're fighting Aldrich where you fought Ornstein and Smo." But as the game wore on, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't really like that reference anymore." So it's just funny how opinions change on that. One thing I will say from a design standpoint is that I think the designers were very clearly given the blueprint that okay, Anor Londo is going to be in the game now. Make this fun for people to have cool interactions with other phantoms in this area. I think that was very much kind of an afterthought. That's okay, we're already putting Anor Londo in, now just make it fun. So I think they opted for more annoying enemies, like the deacons shooting fireballs, and less less heavy on Silver Knights, even though it would make a lot more sense for tons of Silver Knights to be up here rather than down below. One thing I find interesting is that like we never see any like Silver Knight corpses anywhere. Like Aldrich very clearly came up here, and you know he was like very much like an invading force, right? And you know Gwendolyn probably was not okay with Pontiff, you know, taking over Anor Londo and then bringing Aldrich in and putting him there, right? So why don't we find any corpses of Silver Knights? You know, why didn't there appear to be any resistance? Like, shouldn't there be dead Silver Knights who have like, you know, protected Gwendolyn from Aldrich? Which leads me to believe that, you know, Pontiff took this all over, not maybe by force, but maybe by like subterfuge and like political maneuvering, you know, like Revenge of the Sith kind of way. Back to the invasion. I had been trying to drop this guy some embers when he summoned this blue. He's clearly kind of low on health, so I'm like, alright, fine, I'll just kill this blue and then drop you some embers. Remember what I said earlier about stairs? Same thing happens to the blue here. I think right here he tries to hit me, like, and just his weapon bounces off the stairs before the swing even starts. But anyways, that's the life of a blue, and stairs are wonky. And anyone still playing this game should know that by now. Still want to leave the guy some embers, but yeah, at first I got to get that Silver Knight to kind of back off, because every time he goes and tries to take it, Silver Knight tries to pancake him with his lightning sword. So I'm gonna drive him off a little bit. But yeah, this video is shorter because it's Anor Londo, which is a pretty small area. But I do end up invading a lot of people here, and I do end up having some pretty cool interactions with people, which is, you know, kind of the ultimate goal of the multiplayer in this game, is to have cool interactions, whether they're you know, PvP or co-op. It's altogether part of the overall vision. Well, that's it from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm working on the next episode of the series, which is either going to be post-Pontiff or like Central Irithyll. So stay tuned for that.